Hello, this is the Irish Extra, and lads, I'm going to let you all in a little secret, okay? I'm a clueless sausage, okay? That is the sobering realization I've come to inside just the last 2 hours of my life, because I just sat through Arsenal 2, Manchester 3 with Matheus Cunha, giving Man United a last gasp, incredible win at the Emirates, unbelievable. To consign Arsenal and Arteta to their first Premier League loss of the season at home. Unbelievable scenes, okay? Incredible. But this game makes me feel that maybe I do have broccoli brains, because I started this week contradicting myself on this channel with 2 different videos for the African Nations Cup final, right? One saying that Senegal were absolute babies for storming off the pitch. An hour later, I'm flip-flopping and saying they were taking a stand. Well, on the main channel, about an hour ago, I released a video saying, looking at every Premier League club's manager, saying, you know, trying to pinpoint a team that they would be better suited to, like what their actual level is. And I said, it's right there in the thumbnail, you can see. I said that Michael Carrick belongs at West Brom. It is 2 hours later, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to correct myself. I think I grossly underestimated this man. Look, I contradicted myself massively on Monday in the space of a couple hours. And some people said in the comments, oh, I've never seen anyone turn heel and flip-flop as quickly as this. I think I'm going to do it with Michael Carrick, you know, because even in the main channel video today, I would say he's just another Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And don't you dare give him the permanent job based off a couple of decent wins thrown together. Because he's been burned before when you did with Ollie, when you gave him the permanent job, when he was in the building 3 months and got a few decent wins back to back. Well, if you actually look at the Solskjaer results, he did win a few games in a row after Christmas, but it was such an easy fixture list if you look at it, beating the likes of Cardiff, Huddersfield, Newcastle, a Newcastle team who were really, really bad. It was just a bunch of bottom half sludge who he was wading through, and then when he faced off against big teams, he would invariably lose. Well, except that one PSG fluke win, which I think that's the game that bottomed the job. Now, I always knew that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was an absolute little goblin of a manager and never deserved to have a job as big as this. And he proved that over time when he absolutely crumbled. I know they finished second once, but no, I'm sorry. That shouldn't count, because it happened in a time where there was no fans in the crowd. It was fake football. It was nothing. Okay? And they finished like 25 points behind the leaders. I mean, Man United finished second that year, sure, but I mean, they were losing at home to Sheffield United that season too. They weren't. It was not a good Man United side. Okay, they just bumbled their way to a bunch of consecutive wins because there's nobody in the crowd. There's no pressure. It was only when the fans came back in that, you know, they were losing. Actually, no, they were even losing. Oh, sorry. I'm not going to give that season credit because they finished second, but they also lost 6-1 at home to Spurs. So that's my memories of that season. So yeah, it was nothing like when Mourinho got second. But with Michael Carrick, he's had 5 games in charge of Man United now, and it's probably the hardest run of games a Man United manager has ever had. Like, Carrick hasn't yet played against a bad team, all right? Here's the 5 games, all right? A Villarreal team in 2021 who were reigning Europa League champions. Man United won. Played away to Chelsea, who were the Champions League winners, the proper European champions, and champions of the world. They were seconds away from a win. It was a 1-1 draw. And then it was Arsenal. He wins 3-2. Plays Arsenal again 3 years later. Wins 3-2. Both times against Mikel Arteta. Oh yeah, slapped up Man City too. So are you kidding me? In Carrick's 5 games in charge of Manchester United, he's had to come up against Unai Emery, Thomas Tuchel, Pep Guardiola, and Mikel Arteta twice. And he's won all of the games bar the Chelsea one. And even that, he was seconds from a win. That isn't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer behaviour. That's not simply, you know, Ole coming in like a dour little nerd and sticking together a couple of wins, bullying the smaller clubs with Jesse Lingard's turning Cardiff into his own private discotheque. No, that's not like it. No, you can't compare Carrick and Ole's run, because Carrick has been up against unbelievable opposition. Unai Emery, Thomas Tuchel, Mikel Arteta, and Pep Guardiola. And this, by the way, is a new and improved Arteta, someone who's a significantly better manager and coach than he was in 2021. And Carrick's done all this, by the way, with 2 different Man United squads 3 years apart. Look, I don't want to flip-flop that crazy, but a few hours ago, I literally uploaded a video, put a thumbnail on it saying that Carrick should be at West Brom. I think we might actually be looking at a special kind of young coach. And I mean, he's really making it really difficult for Man United not to give him the permanent job. I know everyone was saying, don't give him it. Don't give him it, no matter how well he does. But he's just beaten the two best teams in the league. One of them away from home in an absolute fortress. What Carrick has done with this group of players inside 2 weeks is unbelievable. And this isn't just a case of an interim being an interim and a fresh face and a fresh voice. No, because Darren Fletcher came into the building and they looked even worse than they did under Ruben Amorim. They were absolute utter pondweeds getting bullied off the park at Turf Moor. Like, it's not just the fact that Ruben Amorim is gone and they want these players will just step up for any old dingbat who walks through the door. No, it's not. Because they literally had Dazza Fletch in the building and they were still just absolute utter pumpkin pies, waddling about like constipated penguins. But Carrick comes in and there seems to be an aura or something, or maybe his tactical genius. Because it doesn't feel much like an aura. I mean, the guy barely speaks. Seriously, he's like a mute little teapot who I can't imagine he's delivering rip-roaring warrior Braveheart-esque speeches in the dressing room like Al Pacino. No, none of that. I think Gary Neville and Roy Keane even admitted that or Gary Neville did it anyway, on the overlap, because he's actually played with him. Roy Keane weirdly has some strange little beef going back to, I don't know, his wife slagging him off in the media 10 years ago. I don't know. And we all know what Keane is like with grudges. So take anything he says about Carrick with a pinch of salt. But I don't know, lads. I don't wanna be this massive flip-flop egg who can't stand beside an opinion, because that's not me. That's not. I'm the guy who dies on the hill for his opinions. Like, I never backed down saying that Nottingham Forest would crumble last season, even when they were slapping teams 7-0 in the Premier League. And I was proven right about that. But I think I might have to come off this hill about Michael Carrick being this average, seaweed-esque manager who doesn't deserve a big club. Because maybe, I know he was sacked in Middlesbrough in the Championship. And I was saying that's proof that the Championship is his level. But is it? Because you're only as good as your players. And there are some managers out there who are suited to an elite group of an elite bunch of players. Like, I remember Big Sam Allardyce said this at Blackburn, that he'd win leagues too at Real Madrid and Inter Milan. Everyone laughed, and I laughed, and I don't actually believe that's true, because I think Sam Allardyce is a coach suited to managing an inferior bunch of players, you know, and he can make them better than the sum of their parts, which is why I think he'd have absolutely flopped as boss of England. When given actually elite footballers, I don't think it would have worked. I mean, what do you think he did on Dele Alli? No, he'd have looked at him the same way he probably looks at a salad. Like, number 10s, silky little footballers who are built like twigs, not for him. I think Carrick might be the opposite. You know, I think he might be I hate to say it, and I'm going to sound like the biggest flip-flop in the world, but he might be the English Zidane. I know that's crazy. It's crazy talk, right? It's crazy juice. How could I put Michael Carrick in the thumbnail and splash the West Brom badge above his face? And then 3 hours later, after winning at Arsenal, I'm literally comparing him to Zidane. But lads, I also think Zidane would be sacked in the Championship. I think if you give him the job at Blackburn Rovers in the morning, I think he's gone in 3 weeks. Okay, not 3 weeks, but I think he's fired in the summer, because I don't think he'll know what to do with a bunch of stony-faced pumpkins in Blackburn shirts. And Carrick, he was getting a tune out of the Middlesbrough players. He actually did all right, and I think a lot of the fans were sad to see him go. So I don't even think he's like a complete vomit stain of a coach with bad players either. But I think he could be one of these players, one of these coaches, where if you gave him an elite dressing room, and look, I'm not even saying this Man United dressing room is elite, but it is talented. Okay, it's. I mean, if you look at these players on paper, they should finish in the top 4. I know it sounds crazy to say, because there's a club who finished 15th last season, but lads, they made some good recruits in the summer. Like, I'll talk about Newcastle summer signings tomorrow on the main channel, and honestly, they were just, it's one of the worst transfer windows I've ever seen. But Man United was silently and low-key really good. Did I say low-key? I'm not a 13-year-old. Why am I saying these words? But lads, they bring in Mbeumo and they bring in Cunha, both who scored today, by the way. And they look like they are Premier League proven quality. Benjamin Šeško, not so much. He looks like he might be a bit of a dud, but it doesn't matter, because Carrick's not starting him anyway. And then he brings him on, and he nearly goes off crying after taking a ball to the face, as if he's a 9-year-old little boy. So he might be the dud, but no, I think Cunha and Mbeumo are such important signings, and even Patrick Dorgu. he looks like a quality little winger, not a fullback, a winger. And I don't think this is the case of the Man United players hating Amram. I think they liked him as a person, but I think they hated that formation. So now that Carrick has them with 4 at the back and giving them freedom to go forward, I don't know. I think that is my conclusion to my opinion on Michael Carrick. I don't know if he is ready to coach Man United, ready to lead a massive club like this. And I don't know how it will go on a permanent basis. But I think I need to climb down off that hill of saying that he's just some average sausage of a coach. Sure, he might not be this ranter and raver. Sure, he might not be this Jose Mourinho who'll give them an unbelievable speech to get through to the players. But he must have something, some sort of, he was an incredibly intelligent footballer. So maybe he's got that in his brain as a manager. Maybe he's the sort of Xavi type of coach who, Xavi's another one. I think he won the Liga with Barcelona as a rookie manager. But I think I don't think he could do what Cesc Fabregas has done. Let's say that. Who's gone into Como and done brilliantly with, mostly pretty horrible footballers, bar 1 or 2 marquee signings. But even then, Varane had to retire after a match, so it's not as if they've been able to splash the cash. I don't think Xavi could do that. And I don't think Carrick could do that. But can Fabregas do this? Can he walk into a massive club and do it? I think he can, by the way. I think he's going to take the Man City job one day. I think he's going to do unbelievably well. I think he's the next big thing. But Carrick, man, I don't know. But look, what I will say is we've got our Premier League back. I'm going to talk about this in the video tomorrow, but we have got our Premier League. We've got a title race on our hands and a really active and alive relegation battle. Oh, it's juicy. It is juicy. It's like sinking your teeth into a hamburger at McDonald's. Actually, it's not, because those burgers taste like paper mache. But I don't know, lads. This is a big win. This is a big win, which could really give us a proper fight between Arsenal and Man City. And the top 4 battle is so close too. And the relegation battle is hotting up so much. This could be one of the greatest ever Premier League seasons. And Carrick, I'm giving you your flowers. Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever changed my opinion on a manager this quickly ever before in my life. But what he's doing is special. He's come up against Mikel Arteta and beaten them 3-2 twice. It's just mad. Anyway, that's the end of it. Let me know. What do you think? Let me know. Let me know. Am I completely wrong? Am I going too early here? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, raise. I'll talk to you in a while.